basketball fans, welcome back. So in the previous videos, I've covered Group A and Group B, and in this one, I'll be covering Group C. So Group C was exciting and very eventful. So we had Senegal finishing a 6-0 record, unbeaten. Cameroon with a 4-2 record, Rwanda 2-4, and Gabon who went 0-6. So Gabon and Morocco were the only two teams in the Afrobasket qualifiers who went 0-6. So let's just talk about this. But before we get started, like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified that you never miss any of these videos that I'm coming out with. And yeah, man, with that out of the way, let's just get into it. So Senegal were that team that were very good and very solid, and they went ahead and won all their games. They beat Rwanda, they beat Gabon, and they beat Cameroon twice. So the most exciting matchup for Senegal was against Cameroon. And Senegal and Cameroon always have had that beef to see who's the best team, who's the best team in in West Africa. So Senegal and Cameroon never disappointed at all, and we're able to see Senegal's matchup against Rwanda, which was a blowout. Senegal won 81-59. Senegal versus Gabon in window 2, you could see Senegal had passed the 100-point mark and they're able to dominate Gabon in one-sided fashion, and all eyes were on that Senegal versus Cameroon matchup, which did not disappoint. That game ended 87-83. That is in window 1. This game was decided by only 4 points. Then in window 2, still there was the same matchup that people looked forward to, Senegal versus Cameroon, but Senegal were able to destroy and demolish Rwanda in the first game. 96-73 was the final score. Again, Senegal dominated Gabon, and they had a 102-68 win. So Senegal were able to go ahead and dominate Gabon for the second straight game. They matched up against Gabon. They scored 100 points. Then we had Cameroon versus Senegal. The game was still clutch, but Senegal were able to go ahead and dominate. So these two teams always have had that clash. And the guy that I was really monitoring there, we had John Jacques Boyce. He finished with 4.4 assists. We had Mustafa Diop. He finished the 13 efficiency, and he was that guy that I enjoy watching. Then he had Yusuf Endoy. He's another person who, for that Senegalese team, just makes that team great. And we had Branco Badio as well. He was a guy that averaged 17.7 points. We had Yusuf Endoy. He had he averaged 8 points. He didn't feature that much on points, but majority of the time it was just basically team basketball. And John Jacques Boyce, another guy that he has been doing his rounds in African teams and making sure that he is very productive. Another person that I was really monitoring, he was that guy. And he didn't show up too much in scoring because there are other scoring pieces of the team, but hey, his productivity was still good. He averaged 7.8 points, and he had 4.0 assists, and he averaged 2.5 boards. So he was good. He, even in the limited minutes that he played, because he averaged 16.4 minutes in 6 games played, 16.4 minutes. So he didn't play too much, but still he was very productive at that. And team basketball was at the helm for Senegal, and they did whatever they needed to do to be able to go ahead and qualify. And they are the first team to clinch it, because when they won that rematch against Rwanda to take their 4th straight win, they qualified automatically. And they are a team that I can say they have what it takes to go ahead and even win the Afrobasket. They are always on top. I've never seen a weak spot in Senegal. And I know this for a fact because they have been dominating my Kenyan team for years now. And the games have never been close at all. And yeah, I mean, shout out to these guys. Then we have Cameroon. So Cameroon followed Senegal second, and as they play second. And they're another team that, you just expect them to be, that team that has a lot of resistance. And they had a lot of resistance. They finished the 4-2 record. They were able to do that demolition job against Gabon. I mean, Gabon were just getting walked and stomped all over. And the only team that Cameroon could not beat was Senegal. Senegal were the only team that caused too much problem for this Cameroon side. But Cameroon, if you look at them, they're able to destroy Rwanda and Gabon twice. And that's the reason as to why they had 4 wins there. And the 2 losses were coming from Senegal. So, I mean, their matchup, Cameroon versus Senegal, is just like a derby. So it's always, there's always beef. There's always tension there between those two teams. I don't know if it's because their flags are almost the same, but when it comes to basketball, I can say these are two heavyweights that are colliding in the western part of Africa. They're similar to when you see Tunisia versus Egypt, teams from North Africa colliding. I can compare them to that. It's like those two heavyweight teams. You never know who's gonna grab that win. That game can go either way. And yeah, I mean, Cameroon were able to go ahead and do the unthinkable there. And we had Jeremiah Hill. He had a 17.2 efficiency, and he averaged 12 points, and he also led in assists with 7.7 assists. So he was very good. And also in rebounds, he was third in rebounds with 5.5. So the man was everywhere in the game. So the guy who led in scoring for Cameroon was William Nares. He had 14 points. He led in scoring, and he also led in rebounds with 6.8 rebounds. So he was very productive on every single end. And Cameroon clinched the Afrobasket in about the 5th game that they played. So this was not a shocker for them to qualify, given the fact that they played very well. Then we had Rwanda. So Rwanda, they finished the 2-4 record, and it was expected for them to be able to go ahead and qualify. This was something that I never thought they were not going to qualify, because Rwanda, they are that team that I just hold in high regard, and I always feel like they have what it takes to do it. So Gabon, because they went 0-6, the only wins that the Rwandese team were able to grab was from Gabon. They were not able to beat Cameroon, and they're not able to beat Senegal. So it was very difficult for Rwanda to go ahead and go ahead and pose a threat and any resistance. But even by the sheer fact that they only won 2 games, and the fact that they were not able to pose like that great of a threat to Senegal or even Cameroon, they were able to make that game against Cameroon very interesting in the window 3. That game ended 86-83. So, I mean, Rwanda would have been able to upset Cameroon, but it is what it is. So they were able to grab 2 wins from Gabon, and subsequently they qualified. So the Rwandese team, I'm very glad to see them qualify, because right now, as we speak, we have Rwanda, and Uganda, teams hailing from the eastern part of Africa. They're going to go ahead and they represent us in the Afrobasket. I know my Kenyan team really struggle. I'm going to reach them when I talk about Group E, but hey, it is what it is. So Gabon went 0-6, and they finished last, and it was bad. I mean, it was bad, because in the 2 times they played against Senegal, they recorded like the worst. They recorded the worst results. So in the first game they played against Senegal, that game ended 58-101. They lost to Cameroon 76-58 in the window 2. Then they lost to Rwanda 90-63. So, I mean, the Gabonese team were just struggling. They were chasing the game, and it was not even close, and they were just getting outplayed every single point. So, subsequently leading them to dropping. They dropped all the 6 games that they played, and they were out of the Afrobasket. And Senegal, Cameroon, and Rwanda were going to represent in the Afrobasket. And not only that, they're going to also play in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. So they grabbed a ticket there. So Gabon joins Morocco, Central African Republic, and Kenya as those teams that couldn't make it to the Afrobasket. So unfortunately, that's how it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section what you think about Group C. I mean, Group C was the games I was looking forward to in Group C was Senegal versus Cameroon clashing. So those are the 2 nations that I really like. And when they were put in the same group, I just knew that it was like a derby. It's like both Senegal and Cameroon always have tension when they play against each other, and they yield such good matchups. And this was one of those. These are one of those groups that I was looking at, and I was looking at. Though I was not only looking at them because of that one matchup specifically. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.